got Robert here. Robert, is, of course, is the case studies we're doing is around what Robert has been doing with press releases. Some that we've been working on together, some that he's been doing himself. So it's not isolated case. As we come down here, you can see, you know, he's got 7,500 views on this one, 9,000 views on this one, 123,000 views on this one, and of course the one that he did for Holly, which was 632,000 views, which has now gone over 700,000 views, and it's getting hits every single day. Okay, so in webinar 1, basically what we covered was doing some cookies with the retargeting. Maybe you're not using this right now, but believe me, it's a very, very inexpensive way to get traffic back to offers. Okay, I did do a test with it, and I think it came in about 38 cents per person for the clicks I was getting. So from that, probably I've got some opt-ins. I didn't really track the opt-ins from it because I was just sending them to my main site. Okay, and plus I was using opt-in boxes as well to get people in there too. Okay. Webinar 2, basically what we covered was writing press releases, and since then I've actually created the software from the tube optimization that we have in Commando HQ and the one that we have in Hangout Traffic Commando, and it looks like this now. And basically Commando HQ members and people with Hangout Traffic Commando, you will get this updated in those suites when we have done this sort of final version of this, and you can see that it's really good for optimizing and keeping things relevant and on track as well. Okay, and I will put some videos together for using this. I've actually got a video on the blog showing how I use this to create this sort of article here. I wouldn't really call that a press release, to be honest, because what we need to do in here is we're going to put in some templates and things, some examples that Robert will provide us with, and we will have some easy ways to keep to the sort of press release format and the templates that we need to use. But when we finish the final version of this, then we will upload, replace the tube optimization inside Hangout Traffic Commando and Commando HQ. And what's going to be good about this as well is that we're going to make it be able to go and find all your previous videos that you've got on YouTube as well, and you can just update your descriptions, you can rewrite them and update them, plus it will upload to WordPress, plus it will upload to Mass Media SEO as well. So you can use it in 3 different ways: for YouTube descriptions, for WordPress posts, and for press releases as well. And of course we'll build the templates and tips and tricks and stuff into that as well. So I thought I would just cover that briefly, and at the end of this webinar tonight, what I'm going to do is give you an option, a 48-hour option for Mass Media SEO. I brought the prices right down, but I can keep it there for 48 hours. Anybody who takes membership of Mass Media SEO will get a copy of this software as well. As long as you get an active membership, this software will remain active for you as well. That will be as a bonus with your live membership. Okay, so if you're thinking about buying this particular software, I would suggest that you, for the price that you're offering for Mass Media SEO tonight, that you take that for a month and give this a try. And I'm sure you're going to like it, because we got some really, really good prices for that particular service for Mass Media SEO. Let's jump over to this slide. Robert, do you want to say anything before we get started? Any comments about? Actually, let's talk about when you did the press releases where you got the 700,000 views, and some of the other ones, the lower ones that we did together, that you got 7,000 and 12,000 views. Can you just explain to them what you actually did, what your backlinking strategies were for those particular press releases?
Well, the first thing I did after the press release was published was take it to OnlyWire, and I used Social Adder at the time. Now I use SyndWire and OnlyWire and some of your products, and basically it was social shares, and then I did Web 2.0 embeds of the video that was on there with a link to the press release, and just got a lot of attention because it was ranking really well, and it was very interesting to people that were searching organically for information about SEO when they saw the headline. It was really a catchy headline, I think, that drew attention.
Yeah, that's the first element of it, is the headline. It's a major, major thing. Also, what Newswire do very, very well as well is that they have that one site where all the press releases go on. You've got basically your own sort of page with all your press releases on there as well, which we're going to build into mass media, but that's something that they do very, very well. Also, what they've got there is they've got the Google community as well, haven't they?
Yes, they have quite a large G+ community where they publish everything that is published in Newswire. So you also get the Google Plus listing when the press release is published, and usually ranks really well. I always get on page 1 with that.
Yeah, okay, so we will build that. I actually wanted to get that done last night, but I didn't get time in the end. We will build a Google community and a Facebook group specifically for mass media, and I think it would be a good idea, Robert, as well, if we put together a Skype group for this as well. I kind of mentioned it down here as we go down the bottom of these bullet points down here. I think it would be a good idea, and we can just keep an eye on all three, and that way, you know, if one of them has not been used so much, then we'll just take it out and we'll stick to at least 1 or 2 of them. I think the Google Plus group is a very, very good idea, the community there, so that we can get those instant +1s and Google shares and things like that as well. Okay, so I just made a, you know, from top of my head, basically the things that I would do for press release SEO, and you're going to see these things being built in as well, as much as we possibly can for the mass media stuff, okay? Things like social bookmark commando, I can't really give away with mass media, but you know, a lot of people have either got Commando HQ, which gives you access to Hangout Traffic Commando, and you will then have access to Social Bookmark Commando from there. But backlinking with IFTTT, and there's so many options. I have updated the WordPress Backlink Commando tool. It's now called IFTTT Backlink Commando, by the way. Anybody who bought WordPress Backlink Commando last week, you need to uninstall then reinstall from the exact same link, and it will update to IFTTT Backlink Commando, and you will see a couple of extra strategies in there. And I've been playing around with those strategies as I kept away from Skype. I was really playing around with the feed things that we can do, because it's really, really powerful, the things that we can do from there, because what we can do, and what I've been testing as well, is about some Tumblr accounts where they had some page rank and they had some high domain authority. So I bought a few PR2s, PR4s, and I even bought a PR5 as well. And I looked at the domain authority. The domain authority of the PR5 is 40 or 41, I can't remember. And even some of the PR2s are about 29, 30, and the PR3s about the same as well, which is pretty cool. So I built a strategy for that in the IFTTT Backlink Commando, that we put in a feed first, so we can take an RSS feed from anywhere. So it can come from a press release, for example, and that way you can feed it through into Tumblr where it's got a PR5 or PR4 or you know, high domain authority, and from there you do all the syndication going out, okay? And that way what you can do, if you build maybe 4 or 5 of these, even if they're just, you know, domain authority 30 or something like that, they're still pretty powerful, and you can have these building out in the background, almost like sort of mini Web 2.0 news kind of sites, and that way your own press releases just keep building up, okay? And one of the things I noticed as well with Newswire, Robert, was that they don't allow you to make any post on your WordPress site first. They want it to be completely unique content initially before that happens. It's correct, isn't it?
That's the requirement.
Okay. What we can do with mass media is we can basically make that post into WordPress, and the way to do it properly would be to make it no index from that WordPress post, but do your syndication from there, okay? So you can have no index but do follow, and you can do that easily within your SEO settings if you're using the Yoast SEO plugin, and we get some settings for that you just import into the Yoast a couple of weeks back or a few weeks back. And what you can do is just go into the miscellaneous section inside Yoast SEO, and you can choose then to make it no index but do follow, okay? That means it's not going to index that WordPress page, and so it's not going to count as a sort of duplicate content. But you can have do follow, and that means that any links you're putting in there will be followed. You can do syndication through WordPress that way, but we are building a news site right now based on an old Google News site that we used to have, and that one should be ready. I'm hoping by the end of the week. I want to put a new theme on there, and we will use that for all the mass media press releases that are coming out. Okay, so if you wanted to do it with the do follow link, what you could do if you are using mass media is you can make it just you know, a different article or something near, but you need some uniqueness, and that way when we do the manual check, then you'll be able to use it, and you can do some syndication. But back to the IFTTT stuff. I mean, it's really interesting what we can do with the feed when we start with the feed. If I just go into IFTTT quickly here, I'll show you what I mean. We built this into the IFTTT software as well, and he's done some updates on that. If I go into here and create, click on this, and what we're doing then is basically we're starting from this button here where it says feed, and if I click on a new item, we can put any feed URL in here, anything at all. Okay, so if you want to do from a Google Plus profile, for example, you can go over to commandotubetools.com, where it's got some tools for YouTube RSS feeds, and it's got some tools to get your Google Plus RSS feed as well. Okay, now Google Plus don't give us an RSS feed, but we've found a workaround to be able to do that, and that will syndicate content from there. But what's interesting, the way that I've been sort of testing, is if you combine maybe stuff from WordPress or YouTube, I would use one or the other. If, for example, if you're posting a video on YouTube which will end up in a blog post in your WordPress site, which typically all mine end up doing that, I won't do both RSS feeds. But if you don't typically do that, then I would definitely use both. Okay, then you can mix it in with some kind of authority site. For example, search engine. If I was doing for SEO, for example, I could do it with search engine land, or I could do it for RSS feeds just for the Whiteboard Friday videos, for example, where I'm just hijacking the authority of that particular website where it's already got massive authority, whether it's search engine land or Moz or any of those kinds of sites. I'm hijacking the authority of them by getting their content in with mine. But what's really interesting as well, what I've been testing this week, is that I can go and create multiple feeds, okay, and or multiple mashed up feeds. I can do one, for example, where I've got my WordPress content mixed in with stuff from search engine land, and then I can go and do another mashed up feed where it's my WordPress content or YouTube content, and mash that one up with the different authority site, okay, and that way you're just doing different variations. And so when you're doing that syndication going out with IFTTT, then it's slightly different content because of the different authority site that you're sort of holding on the coattail from. Okay, so if I'm holding on the coattail of Moz and one RSS feed, that's one syndication going out from one IFTTT account. Then I can do a different IFTTT account where I'm pulling on the coattail of search engine land, for example, and I can do it like that, and you can really mix up your content like that, but at the same time you're still making your content relevant to the content that they've got there. So that's just a little thing that I've been playing around with this week that you might find is really useful, and will work very well with press releases as well. Okay, and I mentioned kind of building authority Web 2.0 news networks. That really comes from doing the IFTTT stuff if you really want it to be truly set and forget. Okay, Robert, you mentioned you did some social bookmarking, or was it just social shares that you did?
Yes, social bookmarking too.
Okay, and you used, I guess, it was OnlyWire you mentioned, yeah?
That's right.
Okay, OnlyWire, let's just jump in there quickly. OnlyWire gives us typically 3 feeds, 3 RSS feeds. Again, you want it as set and forget as possible. Okay, if I go in here and I go into the automation tab, I think in here, And you can see we've got 3 feeds, and you can see I've got 3 straight feeds in here. There's nothing to stop me from mashing all of these up, okay? I can mash all of these in together and make 1 feed from it, okay? So that's another way to do it. So if you've got an OnlyWire account, and I still keep an OnlyWire account, regardless if I've got Social Traffic Commando or Social Bookmark Commando, etc., or IFTTT stuff, I still keep the OnlyWire account because it's only $49 a year, and it gives me 1,000 links every single month. But what you can do is you can do that same strategy as I just described, where you can mash up some feeds together, and that way you put in 1 feed, okay, if you mash up 3 together, and that gives you another 2 that you can still do the same strategy again and again, okay, and that way you're getting more different variations of the content that's getting syndicated out into those accounts that you've got attached into OnlyWire as well. That way it's a little bit more efficient, you're getting more out of it as well, instead of being stuck with just 3 plain RSS feeds like I've got in here. Okay, but you can see that it works really, really well, because if I go over to the posts, I'm not doing anything here except for that RSS feed, and everything I post on my WordPress site or YouTube channel gets posted in here, and it's all hands-free. I don't have to think about it, which is always something I'm interested in, because I like things being done that I don't have to touch again once it's set up. Okay, the social reshares. Robert, you use social. Have you tried using other services or tools?
The other services I've used is Fiverr.
Right. Okay.
And that's a favorite of mine because it's quick and it's cheap, and I can find good people, and it doesn't take any time.
Yeah, I've been using SEO Clerks quite a lot. It's actually a really, really good site. It's not as cheap as Fiverr, but you get some really interesting services in there.
I've used that too, right? It's good.
Yeah, yeah. You get a sort of more upmarket type of service in there because it's not just for Fiverr. But if you click up here where it says home and you've got the sort of marketplace area here, it gives you a huge amount of stuff that you can do. You can buy tweets, buy articles, you can buy blog reviews, which is really good. If you're building up a site, a WordPress site, for example, even if you want to do it for YouTube videos, it's kind of good as well, because what you're getting is referring domains, and you can pick and choose. Some of them are really, really specific to particular niches in there, and that gives us more referral domains. So that if you go and check anything on the sort of Moz or Majestic SEO kind of stuff, if I click on Majestic here, for example, in the Chrome, then it's going to give me a summary of this particular site, and it will tell me how many referring domains. Okay, so it's got a citation for and a trust for and stuff like that, and it tells me how many referring domains. This improves your quality of score for this particular service, and also in Moz as well. So getting things like the blog reviews done for Fiverr or something is always a good way to go, but you can pick and choose to see the blogs first as well, which will give you some fair indication whether it's a decent site. And you can also check out the neighborhood of their links just by using these Chrome extensions, which are free from Majestic, and you can get one from Moz as well. Okay.
Tony, I also use Empire Avenue. You're familiar with Empire Avenue?
Yeah, I don't know how to use it.
It works really well for me.
Yeah. Learning curve. I actually had somebody set it up, and I'm getting all these different bonuses and extra points. If anybody knows how to use, what's it called, Empire Avenue?
Empire
If
Avenue.
anybody knows how to use Empire Avenue, and you want to get some free credits and stuff like that, if you want to manage my account, you can. I'm paying about $97 a month for it, but I haven't got time to go through the learning curve for that. It does look interesting, but there's an offer there if somebody wants to manage that account to use it for their stuff and for mine. But yeah, I've heard good things about it, and that's why I took the sort of highest option for the monthly for it. I just never got time to learn it. Okay, you can also use things like Social Traffic Commando, which is good for the reshares as well. But it would need to start from your WordPress site to be really effective, in my opinion, because it's better that you do, for example, a press release type of post inside your blog. Maybe you can start with doing an article. For example, if you've got a tool like this, you can write an article here, okay, and you can have optimized and post that onto your blog, and then put this into mass media and turn it into a sort of third-person type of press release type of thing. And that way you're building the uniqueness as you write it out into a press release from an article, or you can probably do it from within inside the software once we've got those templates in there. And that way, if you've got Social Traffic Commando, then you can go and get a whole bunch of reshares and stuff like that as well. Have you used Social Traffic Commando, Robert?
I have some sporadically.
Okay. Okay. And for indexing as well, I mean, there's so many indexing options right now. Let me ask guys, just to get some feedback. What indexing service are you using? Linklicious or indexification, anything like that? If you let us know, because we want to build some indexing into mass media and plus into more into the desktop tools, and get some feedback on that. Just see, there's a questions going in here again. Are you seeing questions, Robert? I don't know where mine have gone.
See, just one indexification Ken Albrecht uses, and one Len Ferrara would like to know how you mash up the feeds. That's about all for questions. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in now.
Yeah. Are you recording, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. Let's just see. How to mash up feeds. Well, if you've got the IFTTT backlink command, let's see if I've got it open here. Yeah. If you come down here, you can see the design has changed on this one. But if you come down here and you go into the chimp feeder here, what you can do if you've got YouTube channels, basically you just put the channel name in here, okay? But you can also, I've put in here, you can also mash up some authority site stuff. I was actually doing this morning for some videos to update. But what you can do is you can put in multiple RSS feeds in here and click on the mashup, and you need to put a name in here, so you want to get your keywords. And that way, when you get the mashed up feed URL, then you can go into the next one, which is called bulk ping, but we're not using bulk ping. And if you click on get mashed URL from here, it's going to pull in that particular feed for you, okay? Or you can do it also over at commandotriptools.com if you haven't got access to this tool, and commandotriptools.com has got some free RSS tools there that you can use as well. And you just have to get your initial RSS feeds. If it's Web 2.0 sites, usually you can just do a quick Google search, like what is my Blogger RSS feed, and you will find a ton of results come up that will tell you how to find your Blogger RSS feed or your Tumblr RSS feed or Squidoo RSS feed or whatever you might be using, okay? If it's WordPress, it's just typically your domain name /feed, unless you're using something like FeedBurner, which you have to do by going through FeedBurner to be able to do that, okay? Let's see if there's any more questions coming in before I go further.
Several people would like to know what IFTT is and how do you use it to backlink. And
okay.
They just maybe if they went back to the previous webinar that we did.
Yeah. Okay. I'll cover it just briefly because we covered this a lot throughout the year. It's just it's just one of those things that I'm never going to let go anyway, because it's such a good service that we can tie into each other. I'm just using it differently these days from what I did before. But basically what we can do with IFTTT, just click on this, it lets you create what it calls recipes, okay? And recipes are built around what they call channels, okay? Now if I open the channels tab here, you can see it's got a whole bunch of sort of web services, web applications, websites, bookmark sites, Facebook, Twitter, Blogger, etc. And if I go over to the ones I've got activated in here, you can see I've isolated the ones that I feel we can use for syndication. Now how it works is you set up by connecting what they call channels, which are these websites, okay? They call them channels. What you do is you connect your accounts into IFTTT.com, okay? So if I come back over to all, for example, and I wanted to set up Blogger, then I would just click on the Blogger icon here, and mine is already activated, but if I haven't got it activated, I can click over here where it say activate. As long as you're logged into Blogger, it will just ask you to give permissions, and then your Blogger account is attached to it, okay? And then what we do is we create what they call recipes, okay? So if I go into my recipes here, I can click on something like if this. So for example, if I make a post on Blogger, so I'll click on Blogger, any new post made, and then that becomes my trigger, then that. So I can make it then, any new post on Blogger, then post over to Facebook for me. Okay, and then I can create a status message, and I can fill in what they call, and these are recipes, and these individual parts in between they call ingredients, okay? So I can fill in my post title, I can add that ingredient, I can fill in my content, add that ingredient, I can fill in the URL, add that ingredient, and create the action, for example, okay? That's how IFTTT works, okay? So they do a data run every 15 minutes, they will look at all your connected accounts. If you've done a post, then it will behave exactly according to the instructions you give it inside the recipes, and going more in depth inside these what they call ingredients, okay? It will have these elements in it. So when we're using tools like the IFTTT backlink commando, basically what that's going to do is going to create the recipes for you that we have preset in here to be able to do that, okay? So that's basically what IFTTT is. Anyway, let's kind of move forward a little bit further here. Simple RSS, doc sharing. What you can do as well, any web page that you have got, you can easily turn it into a PDF just by getting a Chrome extension or Firefox extension. There's a ton of them out there, okay? You can essentially just create in one click a PDF from it. If you've got some account on Scribe, it's always a good idea to put it in there, okay? It just gives an extra boost, and make sure you've got a couple of links in there going to your press release, maybe going to your Google Hangout if that's part of your press release, or a video as well. And that way you're just giving an extra boost. Those kind of sites can drive a lot of traffic, but unless it's going to be really great content, I wouldn't expect a lot of traffic, but at least you can get that additional link, which is kind of what I call, they're not white hat links as such, but they're not grey hat, they're not anything really, they're just syndication as far as I'm concerned. But there's nothing wrong with doing something like that, and you can get a quick, easy link just by spending 5 minutes is all it would take to upload to Scribe. Now, we did have a tool that we were working on a while back called Doc Traffic Commando, and I kind of put it in the background because it's more interesting what's going on at the time. But we're probably going to revive that, and we'll put it inside Web 2.0 Commando. I'll put it as part of that one to be able to get some of these doc sharing sites in there. Also, if you've got Social Traffic Commando, we got some document sharing elements in there as well. Okay, but I would definitely do that for the 5 minutes it takes to just click on the Chrome extension, click a button once, create a PDF, have Scribe open, and just upload it and put some title and description, a couple of tags or whatever it takes, and you're done. So it's always a good thing to do, and you might hit the jackpot sometimes with these kind of things. It's like when you're using the social media sites or the Web 2.0 sites, like Reddit can drive you a ton of traffic, so can sites like StumbleUpon, Dig, etc. Those have got massive traffic, those kind of sites, which was actually the strategy that I was building Social Traffic Commando initially by doing those reshares. So for example, in StumbleUpon, if you get a lot of sort of votes and stuff like that, you can actually get onto the first page if you've got enough accounts to be able to do that. But you need those accounts really to be looking more real than the way that we're using Social Traffic Commando at the moment, although we're making that into a web-based tool, so we have a community sharing stuff from there. Okay. Okay, is there any questions coming in?
There's a couple more questions, yes. They would like to know if there's any branding on mass media SEO press release.
Branding,
and they put their company name.
Yeah, but I think there's elements that we need to build in there, okay? basically we got delivered the members area and the access to the back end. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it, Robert? We got delivered that. So
right.
you know, we're still going to have to do some build up of things in there. Right now, Mark has done a fantastic job for you know, he's taken it further. He bought that particular service from someone else, and he took it a lot further. What we do need to build in is a lot of the SEO elements, maybe a little bit more branding and stuff like that. But that's where Robert's experience comes in from using Newswire for so long. That we can look at the best parts of Newswire, look at the best parts of SkyRank and some other tools out there. And, you know, if there's something that they've got that we haven't got that we feel we should have, and believe me, it's going to go in there. So, you know, whenever we do some releases like this, the money that is coming in gets reinvested straight in there from those 48-hour specials. So all that gets put back straight into development of the tool, and things like that are going to be high priority anyway. So Robert will give me a list of things that he wants to see in that sort of area for the customer area, plus I know what I want to do for the SEO stuff to build around it as well. So, you know, we'll take it as far as we possibly can. Of course we will. Any others?
Let's see here. Press releases. They would like to know if the product is ready. If you have a link.
For mass media, yeah, if you go to massmedia.com, let me just open it here actually. These are my buy buttons in here right now. Now I'm putting this in a 48-hour special, okay? And what we got is we're doing 5 submissions a month for $37, okay? I mean, that's really, really, really cheap compared to some others, okay? You can add videos. Yeah, yeah. You can add video on here as well.
Yes.
Plus we're looking at the distribution networks. I mean, we want to expand on that too. Really, really want to expand on that too. So 20 submissions, 97. And the thing is that we're not going to, if you don't use up your submissions this month, they're not going to be gone next month, okay? But we're going to keep this up to a maximum of 50. Otherwise, we kind of lose control. Because what Mark was saying to me before is he had a couple of guys that he had done it unlimited at one point, and he had a couple of guys that were doing like 100 press releases every single day, and they were going after sort of CPA offers for weight loss products and stuff like that. So it must have been working really, really well for them for to be able to you know, sit there and spend the time to do 100 press releases a day. But he had to fire those customers basically. And what I've done as well is I've put some yearly options where you're getting according to submissions every year, and this is real good value as well, okay? So basically what we're doing is we're trying to hit a different price point in the market. We're not aiming Newswire prices where they will charge you 200, was it 297, Robert, yeah?
That's what it was.
Yeah, 297 for 10. SkyRank is 297 for 10. We might not have the SEO elements built right now for that, but it will be there, believe me. It will be there. So you can get some really good deals. I mean, 10 here is 67 compared to 297. SkyRanker, you can't use video. With us, you can use video. And plus, we'll be giving this software for all active members, but I need 24 hours to deliver this because we've still got a couple of other things that we need to do with the back-end connection, with the licensing and stuff like that. So yeah, what have you noticed in the back-end, Robert, so far with the mass media that you want to get added in there?
I really like the back-end a lot better than Newswire. The submission, the way that you submit your press release, it's guiding you through it, and it takes you through the process step by step. And so by the time you're done, you know you've done everything right, and all your ducks are in a row, and you press submit, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, yeah, and of course we will try and minimize as much as possible sort of rejections. What I think we're going to do, when possible, if it's just a small tweak that's needed, and we can just do a quick edit for that small tweak and just get it published, instead of sending it back and say, like, fix that small tweak, which happens with other services I've noticed, and I didn't like that. I just thought it was, you know, it was costing time and frustration, and that's why a lot of people actually quit when we did that newswire promotion before. So let's come back over to this, because this webinar really was today about the backlinking elements that Robert has used, and plus I put in a few ideas of my own in here as well. Now, what I suggest you try to do as well is maybe consider, if you're going to do this long term for press releases, is try and consider to do something like a 5-site PBN strategy. Now, I'm not talking about PBNs in the typical way, not the way they do sort of free 6-week series. PBN can be many things. If you take a step back and have a think about it, it can have a Web 2.0 news site like a Tumblr, for example. It can have what I call a concept site, where you've got a site that is basically built around the concept that is useful information for people, and it might not necessarily be in a different name server or hosting, okay, but it's something relevant to what you're already doing with your current business. It's okay to have more than one site related to one business. I have Commander Tube Tools, okay. I have the AnthonyHayes.me blog, okay. I have SEO Commando HQ. I've got a ton of membership sites all over the place for about, I don't know how many software memberships we've got out there now, but all of those are related to me, to what I'm doing in my business every day. I don't put those in different name servers. I don't put those in different hosting, because these are part of my everyday business, okay? So that's what I call a concept site. So it'd be okay to put in maybe a couple of Web 2.0 sites and build them up into authority sites. And you can get some really good deals for, say for example, you wanted to do it for bloggers. Let's go over to Envato. No, what's it called? Yeah, Envato, let's find it from there. Into Envato.com, and from here we should be able to find what is that website that does the WordPress themes. Theme Forest, I think.
That's right.
Sorry, I thought I'd get it from Envato, but I'm not logged in. Usually you can. If you go into this one here, and you go into blog, you can get some really great themes in here for Blogger, for example, and you can put them into really, really nice websites in their own right. I was looking at a couple of them last night and I'm thinking, wow, I really need to be able to use some things like that. And you've got a whole bunch of Blogger themes that you can put up in forums and make them look like almost like WordPress sites. And see this one, for example, WordPress theme for bloggers, magazine theme, things like that. And you can get some really, really nice looking blogger sites as well. It doesn't have to be those plain or sort of blogger templates. You can actually build these into something that looks really nice. Let's see if I can get a live preview of that one. Now, would you guess that's a blogger site or a blogger theme? You really wouldn't, would you? And you see what I mean? You can build these out as well into really nice Web 2.0 properties, where they're actually looking like real websites rather than the old boring sort of blogger templates. And you can see here as well. This is another one. That one does kind of look like a Web 2.0 property, but the other one didn't. This looks really, really nice. You can get some people on studio.envato.com, and they will set these up for you. And if you build out one of these really, really nicely, then you can get some really good sites done for you, where a lot of it is kind of integrated. Okay, so you will customize the blogger template. This guy's 115, but you can find them like $50 and stuff like that, and get some really, really nice blogger sites set up. There's no reason why you can't. Okay. So I think I'm going to go and buy that blogger theme actually. It looks really, really good. Okay, let's come back over here. So yeah, the 5-site PBN strategy you could consider to do for your press release stuff as well, but mix it up. So maybe you've got one like another sort of news site for PBN, which is not on the same name server one for your main WordPress site, one for a nice blogger site, one for a sort of concept theme, etc. And you know, you can, even the fifth element of that could be a really good quality YouTube channel. Okay, and you can build it like that. So you're basically just building a really nice first tier sort of network around your main content. Okay. Is there any more questions right now?
Oh, there are a lot of questions. I've been madly typing to try to answer them all. People are interested in the sites. They want a list of the sites. I told them that they're listed on the...
If you go to Mass Media SEO, if you scroll up, this is still Mark's sales page. He's got a list of sites in here. Okay, you can see them all on there. Just massmedia.com. Sorry, massmediaseo.com. If you go over there, you will see all the sites that they're working with right now. Now, we were talking about this during the week, Robert, about the distribution and the things that we want to do, and we will take that. We will investigate further what we can do as far as different sites that we can use. But when you give me... Sorry?
Yeah, I gave you my title, right, in the quotes?
Yeah, there was 323, results, I think,
right.
Came up. 323 results came up when we did that search for our posted press release. We just basically took the title and put it inside the inverted commas, and we had 323 results. So you can see, I mean, this is, you know, it's a decent service that's been around for quite a long time as well. I think we're quite lucky to get it. Very, very lucky to get it. And they came just at the right time as well when we were really talking about this and going back to the sort of press release strategy. And the whole reason we started to do these press release webinars wasn't because of the mass media. I had no idea 3 weeks ago that I was going to be taking this particular business over, okay?
We hadn't even heard of it.
Mark had actually given me a license, a review copy of this, and I used it a couple of times. I think I used it once, actually, to be honest. But we had noticed it was actually, we started to do this because we had noticed a lot of people from the initial newswire promotion we did had actually just dropped off, probably partly because of the price, probably partly because they weren't writing press releases, you know, in a way that newswire could accept, and they kept rejecting, and people just get frustrated and move on. And so what we wanted to do, and with this webinar series for press release SEO initially, was to help people to use a strategy that really works, and that's why we put in the case studies in here, because it does work. And I knew that Mark was sort of moving away from the IM niche anyway. He's gone into more mainstream online marketing, and I asked him if he was interested to sell it, and we did a deal. So, you know, it was very, very quick to do the deal and the transaction, and here we are. We've got a nice service that we can put a lot of work in, and we can build it up and make it as good as it possibly can be, but at a price that's affordable for people. And it's something that we will keep building long term. And Robert's there basically full-time managing this particular thing, plus I will be there to build up the SEO elements, okay? So there's a good combination of Robert's experience and my SEO stuff that will get added in here. Any more questions?
People are saying looking good and that they've signed on, and they'd like to know if there are templates for the press releases included.
This is something that we will have to work on. Let's come back to what we will do is we will try and do an additional webinar next week, which will just be about mass media SEO. Just give us a week to get our feet under the desk, okay? And literally we got the back end access yesterday. Okay, so give us a week to get our feet under the desk and see what we can come up with in that 1 week. What you will get, anybody who buys today will get a copy of this software, but again, give me 24 to 48 hours because I need to tie in the licensing for this with mass media SEO. Okay, I haven't got that, and yet I've got just a separate license for that. If we need to sort of manually dish them out, then fine, but I'd rather that we could tie it in with mass media SEO, then it's, you know, just less work for us to do sort of ongoing. But this is a very, very good little tool, and even this is not finished either. It's definitely not finished. it's got a lot of potential that we can add more stuff in here as well. So what I'm interested in for this particular tool as well is indexing services that we can add in here. Okay, I want to add in some indexing services for what people are using now. I use Syndication, but I know that there's been some new ones that came out and that I haven't been able to test. And that's probably why SkyRanker does very, very well, because Chris has got his, I think was it called Munchclaw or something, his initial product.
Yes.
He sold about 11,000 copies of that as a WSO. So he got a massive email list all at one time and grew really fast with that one launch. But that tool is actually very effective. Even that kind of tool, we can still tie it into the kind of tool as well. So, you know, we will take a look and we will keep building it up. Okay. Just let me know if there's any more questions coming in. I've got a couple more things that I want to sort of cover, which are just, you know, basic stuff. Have you ever used the wiki links, Robert, for backlinking with press releases?
Yes, I do that all the time. I use WikiRobot.
Okay.
I should have mentioned that earlier.
Yeah. With WikiRobot, guys, you're able to filter if you've got that particular tool. And I need to contact OJ and Josh Zamora did that one together. OJ, James, and Josh. I did speak to OJ about it a couple of weeks ago and said, are you still selling it? And he said he was going to sort of revamp and do another launch with it. But the way I used that when I was using it was filtering the sites. I filtered it to two different ways. I did some with just do follow links, and then I did some other ones that were just sort of .gov and .edu, I think it was, if I remember correctly. And those were, I combined all of those particular sites so that when it created accounts and was posting to those, I was just getting either do follow or edu or gov, and that way I was kind of keeping it a little bit stronger. Although it was less links, it's better links, better quality links. I'm doing it that way.
I've got to say, I'm really excited about this, Tony. There's nobody that is going to be doing or has been doing what you're going to be doing with mass media, putting all the SEO elements in to help people rank them. It's just going to be an incredible tool. I can't believe the price you're offering for it.
Well, there's a gap in the market for it, and if we're talking about in the business sense, but also, you know, for I don't want to pay $297 a month for 10 press releases. I really don't.
Most people don't, even if they're going to be on page one.
So, you know, I'm buying this as well, guys. I mean, I'm not just going claiming some press releases. I'm actually buying the subscription myself, which I'll take the 20 per month, or I'll buy the yearly one. I'm running it like a proper business. I'm not just taking from it. So, you know, I'm using it as well, and it's the same situation for me. I want to get best value possible, but I do know what I'm going to put in here. But, you know, people like Chris Munch, he's a very, very good SEO guy. He will have, you know, inbuilt a lot of very, very good things already into SkyRanker before he released it, which is probably why he's charging the $297, and plus he's got a massive, massive audience as well, so he can, you know, charge $297 and come out of it the other side very, very profitable. But I wanted to hit that part of the market where people, maybe smaller businesses, agencies want to resell and things like that, can really take advantage and get some really massive benefits. And as and when we add more SEO stuff in here, I think that we can bring a freshness into what we can do with that, and you can see indications of what those will be just by looking at what we covered today with this kind of stuff. Okay, so where and when possible, we just keep upgrading and making it better. All right, is there any more questions come in, Robert?
People want to know if they can use it for the different products that they have and how that will work. I've got to say that I've always done really well with press releases, and I almost always on page one and quickly. So there's no hassle like with having a website and everything you have to go through for months and months before you may have a chance of reaching page one. A press release is instant, and it's a no sweat thing. You know, no worries. So yes, they work really well.
Don't forget the value of those referral links, guys. You really got to understand the value of that. It's just giving you a whole bunch of different domains linking back to your money site as well. And you can just use this with links direct to your money site. And plus, if you use the elements that we discussed last week of using Google Hangouts, and that works really, really powerfully, Robert, doesn't it? Hangouts with press releases.
Yes, incredibly well. They create a synergistic effect, I would say. I've used Hangouts. I've used press releases with just video, and the ones with Hangouts are ranking the Hangouts along with the press release, usually right on there, right on page 1.
Yeah.
Working together.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's not 100% where we want it to be right now, but we just got our feet under the table. So give us 4-6 weeks, and it will be a lot more powerful. There's some internal proprietary things that we need to build in here as well. That I need to get out, the PHP coder to build in the back end of mass media, and plus we're building up a site. What mass media doesn't have right now, as of today, but might have by as early as tomorrow or day after, is a site where all the press releases go on now. And later we can look at some upgrades that we can do as well, like so custom-made videos and stuff like that. We can tie in with other professionals and people who do them really, really well, and strike some good deals as well for customers and mass media. But I think we got the pricing just about right. I mean, for the 48-hour special, it's very, very good. After 48 hours, it's going to go up to $47 monthly for the 5 submissions. So you're saving, still about $120 a year. Don't forget this is a monthly fee. And for this one, for the 20 submissions, it's gone back up to $127, and for the 10, it's gone up to $97. So you're making some good savings in here over the year. And I think we've got the price just about right for the elements that we want to build in, so that we can reinvest into making this as good as it possibly can be.
I have several questions here. John Gallagher is asking if he buys the $97 per month now, can he upgrade to the yearly for the 300 releases later on for $9.97?
I would say so, yeah. John, you just connect with us for the support desk, and we can sort of arrange something for you to do that as well. I was thinking to build in some sort of, what do you call them, sort of multiple payment options for the yearly, but you can see I've already taken up 6 buy button spaces here, and I thought it was just going to confuse the hell out of people if I did that, so I didn't do it. But if you want to upgrade later, yeah, we can sort that out manually.
I have several people that are very concerned about losing their credits. Everybody knows with Newswire, if you don't use all your credits by the end of the month, they're gone, and you start over. What do you say about that, Tony?
Well, we're not going to take away the credit, but what I will do is I'll put a cap on 50 submissions. So if you, say for example, you take a 5 submission package, you've got basically, you can carry that on month to month to month, and if you haven't used up after month 4, you're going to have 20 submissions you can still use. But I want to put a cap at 50, okay? Because I don't want somebody to come in and hit all at one time, okay? But if you're getting to the point where, you're coming near 50, for example, if you're in the 20 per month package and you need an extension on that, then just contact the support. If it's, reasonable request, and of course we can take that into consideration. I just don't want to encourage people not to use the strategy either. So that is the second part of it, because the strategy does work really, really well. I mean, how often can you do a blog post and even get 7,000 hits to it? Very, very hard to do. With press releases, you can do that, and if you follow what we sort of taught in the first webinar of this series to get your links cookied for retargeting, to get opt-in forms and things like that in there. If you're using lead pages or ClickFunnels is the new one that came out, you can get those lead boxes in there as well, so that you can actually put an opt-in form right into the press release, just using those links, which can be really, really powerful. If you've got 7,000 people coming to a press release and you've got something like that, then as long as you've written it nicely, as long as you've got a good call to action, as long as you've got an appealing title, then chances are you're going to be doing some decent list building as well, and also the opportunity to do remarketing. That first webinar was really the core of what I wanted to cover. The rest of it is stuff that we're teaching every week anyway with these weekly webinars that we're doing. So you know, that first webinar, if you didn't watch it, I would definitely go back and watch that. It's got some really, really important things in there for you to maximize the traffic that you can generate. And plus, I keep going back to the referral domains. I just feel that's so important these days for SEO in 2014 that we have those referral domains.
Okay, I've got quite a few more questions here. John Gallagher would like to know if each press release is reviewed manually, like with Newswire.
Yes, it is. It is. It all comes through, and then Robert needs to approve it. But what I'm sort of saying is that, you know, if Robert sees it's a small tweak that needs to be fixed, then it can be sort of just small tweak and fix, and we just publish it for you. If it's something big, then obviously we don't need to send it back. But yeah, you won't have to search to find out what's wrong. You know, what we can do.
Newswire doesn't tell you what's wrong; they just send it back and expect you to figure it out. And that was kind of difficult.
Yeah, I think they actually do that now, to be fair to them, but I noticed that a couple of times as well. What do I need to fix? I don't know what I need to fix. And, you know, we need to have that clarity there. So we'll probably build in some examples, and that if we do send something back, we might be able to highlight it, just to give you an example of how it should be. Some things we can probably fix just ourselves as a quick tweak, other things maybe not.
Okay, bang for the buck. Is the press release from mass media the same ranking value as PR Web or Newswire?
I would say not quite yet, but we're working on it. We're going to be working on it for, you know, ongoing now. But, you know, you will see an initial bunch of SEO elements being added. Some you will never even know about either. There's some things that I just don't want to share because I don't want other press release companies to basically copy what we're doing. But I can guarantee you I'm bringing a freshness into that market. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt at all.
You're not going to be paying $300 a month, and we plan on topping these guys. We plan on doing the best we can with all the SEO skills and tools that we have to apply it to this fresh and changing news site, and we're going to build it up and make it better.
Don't forget as well, guys, I mean, if you look at the amount of tools that we produce at Commando SEO, if you look at just over the past 12 months, I mean, it's a phenomenal amount of tools. A lot of that stuff is completely unique. Nobody else is doing. It's one of the things I do very, very well is create strategies, and that comes from being in the trenches and doing stuff. I do a whole bunch of SEO stuff that you will never ever see. Other things, I run campaigns on different various things that you will never ever see. What you typically see from me is just the training videos and stuff like that, but I'm not sitting doing that all day. I'm doing other stuff as well. You know, you might see me disappear for 2 days because I'm working doing stuff. And that's where basically I come up with the strategies as and when I'm doing stuff. So when I'm saying we're bringing a freshness into the market, there's a whole ton of stuff that we can implement from the existing tools that we've got, that we can maybe build into mass media in the back end, and also some new stuff that hasn't even been revealed yet, but I know that it's completely fresh from what anybody's doing in SEO, because I'm in the trenches doing it. There's a lot of people, you know, they're building, they're doing product after product, and they're basically just creating products. They're not actually in the trenches. And we saw when we did the webinar with Todd, you could tell that Todd's really been in the trenches for years with the PBN stuff, and he really, you know, could have sat there and spoke for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours and never stopped, you know. You know, when you see people being able to talk about SEO like that and come up with fresh stuff and new stuff, then you know these are the guys that are in the trenches, as opposed to people who are just creating products and doing those big product launches and doing the 6 figures and then on to the next product. I don't even do launches. I just don't have the time for it, and I just don't want to attract the wrong kind of customer either. So what I'm doing is always kind of unique, and we will be building that freshness into the press release market as well as we go along. But I can't promise it will be done in 2 days, but you know, we keep working on it.
I've got a million questions here. Some people say they've already bought and they didn't get a login information. You covered that a little while ago. We just got the back end of the site yesterday.
Well, that should all be working. I think Jeff had already fixed that. What to do is, can you, if you can send in your PayPal receipt or your Zaxxer receipt, send it into support@anthonyhayes.me. I need to talk to Jeff. I thought that was already built in, okay, for the delivery. He had done the funnel and the stuff for me. Jeff is the guy who's existing sort of coder for mass media SEO. So basically we can sort it out from there. Just get these set up manually. We'll have to do that manually if anybody's waiting. Okay, and probably at the same time we can give you a license for this article optimization commando, as I'm calling this one here. Let's see.
Somebody says the sales page isn't showing any prices. It's way down at the bottom of the page.
Yeah. Okay. So you will get, if you need sort of manual set, for us to set up manually, just send email with your Zaxxer purchase into support@anthonyhayes.me. I've got 2 of my assistants working right now, and myself and Robert can help out as well, but I need to get in touch with Jeff as soon as the webinar's finished and make sure to get him to double check why that's happening. That shouldn't be happening. So my apologies. Okay, but we can get this software out at the same time probably. Okay, so I think we can, unless you've got a whole bunch of questions there, Robert, I think we can probably wrap up pretty soon.
I think we've pretty well answered them. We haven't answered them all individually, but there's a lot of them that are related.
Okay. So. What we will do is we will do another webinar next week. I'm not going to guarantee it's on Monday or Tuesday or anything like that. I'm just not sure. I need to do one for the WordPress or IFTTT backlink. I need to do another one for something else as well. So, you know, sometime next week we will do another press release SEO webinar, and we can highlight more of the stuff that we've achieved this week with mass media SEO for the updates that we've done, and we can take any questions and get some feedback as well about using the system, because I've still got access to their coder for, you know, a couple of months while we're getting ourselves set up, so we can, you know, request things to get done to make it better, and plus we can work on some templates this week as well, Robert. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, guys, thanks for attending the free webinars so far. This was actually meant to be the last webinar, but I hope you got a whole lot of value out of this. We did put a ton of Robert's experience and combined it with some of my SEO stuff and marketing stuff, and I think we covered quite well what you can do with press releases and how to do them nicely, how to do them properly, how to maximize the traffic as well, and you know, use the strategy. It does work. It really, really does work. Even if it's just for SEO backlinks, it does work very, very well. But for the traffic that you can generate, it's definitely worth it. And thankfully, the mass media thing came in at the right time, that we were able to offer, you know, an alternative to $300 a month, so that we can get it down to, you know, a tenth of that price, which is pretty crazy, really. So that, you know, it's affordable now. And we're not intending to put the prices up by too much after the 48-hour special either. But, you know, you can save minimum $120 a year using that with the prices that we've got right now. And we'll just keep moving forward together with it and making the SEO as good as we possibly can be done. And we'll take it from there. Okay. So I think we can probably end it there. Robert, any other questions, Kevin?
A lot of people are saying that they've used press releases before and how well they work. People are saying this is awesome and they're glad to get in at such a good price. Thanks and appreciate your help. There's just an overwhelming positive reaction here.
Well, good. Let's build on it and let's make it as good as it possibly can be. And you will start to see some differences already this week, and we will get that news site up as well. It might not be Google News approved immediately, but I'm actively looking for someone that's got experience of doing Google News approved sites, or buy an existing one that we can tie in with this. And you know, we'll just maximize it as best as we possibly can at the best price as well, so that we can get that. You know, if you've got an SEO agency, for example, this is perfect for reselling And I'm going to create a reseller option where you're reselling the same price that you see today, but basically you will get an option for people to come in and buy from the buy button. That will come to us, and it will be essentially like an affiliate sort of payment come to you, so that we can put those reseller options and make it really, attractive for small businesses as well. And we can take things a lot further that way as well. And it's a great service to offer clients if you're doing offline stuff. Okay.
People are looking for the link to buy and don't have it. I better put that one more time in the chat box, I think.
Yeah, it's massmediaseo.com.
That's all it is.
massmediaseo.com.
Okay, I'll put it in the box.
Guys, if there's any delays and you're getting confirmation, don't worry about it. It will come to you. We will get straight in the back end to see what's been happening and send you login details and a copy of this desktop software as well. Okay. And the desktop software we'll continue to work on too. It's not just the web-based application for mass media. We will continue to build up on the desktop software as well. But Don Powell, my main coder, he's on holiday right now for a week, so it will take us another week before we add anything more in there. But I've got some definite plans for that we can use. All right. So I think we can wrap up now, Robert. And guys, thanks for attending. I hope you enjoyed the webinar series. We will do a fourth one, which is basically going to be around mass media stuff. And everybody's welcome to attend that one. And, hopefully you learn something and you go and take action and really use a very, very effective strategy. It's one of the top 3 strategies, in my opinion, for what's working now, especially for new sites as well. If you start off new sites and for existing sites, and you just keep building press releases with links to your internal pages and keep building up that SEO with your referral links and with authority links, etc., and it will work very, very well for you. Okay, thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Robert. I'll let you end the webinar because you're recording, so I don't want to touch anything in case we don't get the recording. All right, man. Thank you. Bye.